You're listening to the Breakfast Show podcast on Faith FM. Positively different.
You are listening to The Breakfast Show here on Faith FM. And right now, hey, we've come to our interview time. And we are going to be speaking to one of the fittest people I know. Shout out Cleote, who is on the line with us. Caitlin, how are you going?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, mate, I'm killing it, kicking goals, living my best life, coming to Christmas time and wondering and desiring to know and understand from someone who is, up with fitness like you are, what I can do to stay fit and healthy and get some good summertime, Christmas time rest. Like how can we hit that balance? What are the do's and don'ts for the summer period? But yeah, look, we're stoked to be talking to you this morning and would love to open up that topic, that can of worms, and make sure that we're staying fit for the summer.
Hey, fitness isn't a can of worms.
Yeah. Fitness is a bowl of good protein or something like that. Well, look, we're opening it up and jumping into it. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, obviously, as people hit the holiday season, it gets very busy, gets exciting, lots of events, lots of food. Some people tend to indulge in, many a sweet treat, alcohol, anything that's kind of the norm of the holiday season. And I think probably the best thing is just finding a bit of balance.
Sure.
You don't want to obviously restrict everything that you're having. Over restriction can increase like more cravings, and then you're at that risk of binge eating or overeating.
Okay.
So just having a bit of flexibility about that behavior, having a little bit of the things that you enjoy as well as some other healthier things as well.
Okay, so you're saying that some level of a bit of a compromise is key here. Not compromise in like a great spiritual sense or whatever, but in terms of saying, hey, I can eat a little bit, I can indulge a little bit, but just making sure there's some level of self-control and whatnot in there. How can you achieve that? Because I feel like there are some people listening that would agree with the sentiment that I sometimes experience, which is, one turns into many. And all of a sudden it's Christmas afternoon and you've eaten way too much food and you're like, I'll never do that again. And then you wake up on Boxing Day and eat all the leftovers, and then you say, I'll never do that again. And then, Coles has a special on Oreos, and then you're saying, I'll never do it again. Lots and lots and lots even. And you're in that cycle of excuses, right? How can you combat that? How can you, give in a little bit, but then simultaneously have self-control?
I am a victim to this as well. I feel like
a victim or a perpetrator? That's the question this morning. Yeah.
That's true. I think that I have bigger eyes than my stomach a lot of the time, and especially when you go somewhere, wherever it is, even like a Christmas party or something, and they have multiple treats and you're just like, oh my goodness, but I want that and I want that and I want that. And you just kind of like try a bunch of things. I think the key there is to just have a little bit. So if there's like a piece of cake that you really want, like cut that cake in half.
Oh.
And then like if there's, you want to have like, you see like a bowl of M&Ms or something, just like take 2 or 3 M&Ms. That way you're actually still having the M&Ms, but you're also having the other things, have half a Tim Tam or, share it with someone, grab like just little bits of things rather than having one serving of absolutely everything. I feel like that's probably the way to go there. And then, the same thing. People will, have a glass of wine and then that will turn into 10. Trying to like limit that by going, okay, I'm going to have one with dinner and then I'm going to make sure that I have a glass of water afterwards.
Or 0. Or just...
ultimately 0.
Ideally, don't touch it at all.
Yeah, there's some things in life that, like we talked about the benefit of things in moderation and balance, but there's some things in life that it's just like, should we have a little bit of arsenic, or a little bit of some of these harmful things that that in all worlds, like, we should really be having none. I think the principle of balance or moderation kind of helps, though, when we're thinking of, the target might be to not have any of let's say, there's a particular food that we know we just get addicted to, and we want to completely cut it from our diet. Sometimes cold turkey isn't the best way. Sometimes, phasing it out and giving yourself permission to gently get yourself to that target, it might be a better way for some people than going cold turkey. Is that another principle that can work here, Caitlin?
Yeah, definitely. Just trying to reduce as much as possible. I mean, like, people often, there are definitely things that people should avoid altogether. For example, like, some people will have their daily beer or their daily cigarette, and like, those things are things that ultimately, the ultimate goal would be to cut them out altogether. They're toxic substances that your body has to actively detoxify, and it puts stress on your organs and like increases your risk of multiple diseases and cancers over time.
Yeah.
And then you have things like sugar, which in excess and in large amounts can do similar things, because it, again, puts stress on the body.
Sugar is evil.
Yeah. Sugar can be quite bad.
Yeah. I'm saying this in jest, but actually, in my experience, I have actually, over time, weaned myself back from being a sweet tooth to now. I'm not even tempted by sweets. I don't care for them. Wow. Sometimes I'll have a piece of Christmas pudding or whatever to make sure that I'm not offending the host. But I'd be quite happy just having the savouries. Forget the sweets.
Wow. Well, in that too, I guess it would depend on like what savouries as well, because
True.
These days, sugar is like literally in everything.
Yeah,
so
true.
Even when you feel like you're having, a packet of chips or whatever, there's so much sugar in a packet of chips.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is good to try and cut out more of those refined sugars. And I have plenty of friends that have done that over time, and they've reaped plenty of health benefits from it.
So if we're struggling to cut back on all the carbs and all that stuff, is this where fitness comes in? We can take the back door exit and just work it all off, and we're all fine.
Yeah, this is, I think, my question. So, because your particular experience and expertise in exercise physiology, Caitlin, which you just told me you're doing your PhD in, which is amazing. Whoa. So we're talking here to by far the most qualified person that, especially out of the three of us. If you went through Christmas time, you just utterly failed, right? Like you said, I was only going to have one piece of cake. You had 20. Like, so whatever. That's pretty extreme, but something like that. Can you just jump on the treadmill, on the 1st of Jan and work it off? Is that the way you should do it? Like, what kind of plan can you put in place?
To be honest, I feel like most of the health benefits that you're going to receive are going to be through dietary change.
Oof.
So,
and this is from someone doing a PhD in exercise physiology.
Yes,
you could be motivated to tell us that exercise is the answer.
Exercise is incredible. It does incredible things for your health, your mental health. It's super important.
I'm a runner. I love the endorphins.
Yeah, it's great. So people who don't exercise, like, they're missing out on a huge number of benefits. But in terms of overall health and longevity, you really need a combination of a healthy diet and exercise to receive maximum benefits. Obviously, you can have one without the other, but it's not going to be optimal. And if you want quick, faster results, then diet combined with exercise is the way to go. Like, general guidelines for Australians are 150 minutes of exercise a week, and that's moderate exercise. So you could be, walking for 30 minutes a day and almost achieving that. But yeah, really it's a combination between the both.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate what you're saying here, because I think someone could incorrectly get the idea that, oh, hey, look, I'm just going to go hard, no self-control, and I'll just pick it up on the morning
treadmill.
of the first, I'll just do it then. But what you're saying is, hey, these things already go hand in hand, and you're just putting yourself at a greater disadvantage, and it's actually going to be harder. If you could consistently exercised, but then didn't solve that problem, neither at Christmas nor on January 1st, you're never actually going to achieve what you're trying to achieve. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, pretty much. And there's obviously like a lot of other health, I guess, risks that occur when you're inactive, right? So like if you're someone who doesn't like to be physically active and you just want to change your diet, that's great, and it's going to have some health improvements. But without that physical activity, you can still have an increased risk of chronic disease by 10%. So it's still significant.
Wow.
So what sort of fitness activities are you into, Caitlin?
Oh, recently I'm on the High Rocks fad train with my friend Dan. So at the moment we've been doing a lot of High Rocks based activities.
What is that?
It's torture. No, it's basically like it's an 8-kilometer run. So you do a kilometer, and then you'll do 1,000 meters on the ski erg, and then you do another kilometer, then you do like 100 burpee broad jumps, and then another kilometer and a 153-kilo sled push. And you have 8 stations of 8 different exercises, and in between you basically run a kilometer, and then you try and finish with a good time.
Wow.
That is so gnarly.
How long does the whole thing take?
I think on average it probably takes people about an hour and 40 minutes or so.
And you're getting it down to an hour?
We wish. We all wish. If we did that, we would be in the pro section. No, our newest PB time is an hour and 12 minutes. So
wow.
An hour and 12. I mean, that's 8 kilometers with those exercises interspersed between them. An hour and 12 minutes. That is super impressive. Hey, so guys, listen, you're listening here to someone who's incredibly fit and has all the info for you. So this is awesome. Hey, look, we've got about a minute left. Is there anything that you want to leave with us? Any, key pieces of words of wisdom or whatever it may be that'll really bring it all together for the holiday period, so that we're coming out of the New Year's feeling good and ready to have our fittest year yet?
Definitely. I think especially going into this holiday season, I would focus on trying not to overindulge, just have a little bit of what you want and not too much. I would encourage going for a walk after a meal. That helps improve digestion, will help regulate some of those hormones. So that's really good. It will increase your satiety as well. And then obviously drink water. Like, we're coming into our hottest months. Make sure you're hydrated. I think a lot of people will just have lots of water and think that they're getting enough hydration, but you actually need a little bit of salt for your muscles to be able to pull that water in and actually hydrate you. So adding something like a little bit more salt or a hydrolyte, some sort of electrolyte supplement into your diet over the hotter months is definitely going to be beneficial. And just try and get moving, even if it's just going for a post-meal walk. That's going to be the most beneficial. And then I think the other thing is just have some time for you. You want to make sure that you're still sleeping, that you're having a break. Now that it's holiday time, you get a little bit of time off work. Well, most people will. just try and have a time to reset and take some time by yourself. Don't just crowd your calendar with different events, because you really want to be able to reset your body. There's plenty of good science in relation to even a long weekend, like an extra day, 3 days rather than 2 days, at increasing your mental health, at decreasing those stress hormones which cause chaos in your body. So I would say those would be my top tips.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. Hey, Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us.